Hey, how's everybody doing today? Today, I thought I'd take a minute to discuss my rig that I play through, my live setup. Show you a picture of my setup as it sits. Usually, this is how it is when I'm doing my gigs. Anyway, to break it down more, I use a Yamaha AC5R for my guitar. I've got a couple of Yamaha AC3Rs too that I'll use at times. It depends. But my main guitar is the AC5R for my acoustic stuff. Although the system inside it is okay, the Yamaha system is really nice. But for me, I like something a little bit more consistent. I don't like piezos so much. And I prefer actually a good quality magnetic pickup. If you spend the money and get a good pickup, uh, for me it works a lot better just for overall consistent tone, consistent signal. Works better with the looping when I do use that feature, and I like it better. So what I'm using in the guitar now is the Fishman Rare Earth system, not the blend system. I don't. That's another problem. That's one of the reasons with the blend thing on the Yamaha factory electronics. It's kind of hokey when you're doing live stuff because you're always competing against something out there. Either if you're outside, loud traffic, loud people inside. If it's a coffee shop, you got those coffee grinders going, and then in breweries, it's just they're noisy. So the magnetics just work. They cut better. They work better. But anyway, so that's set up. My AC5R with the Fishman Rare Earth pickup goes into my tone deck. Again, I'm not going to review this. Is plenty of you could check it out. It's Fishman. I like Fishman acoustic quality in their pickups and their preamps, and so yeah, that's what it runs into, and does the job well for me. The only drawback I don't like is I can't use reverb and delay at the same time. However, I don't know if that's such a great idea. I'm all about a clean signal, and you'll find that out as we go along. Anyway, that tone deck, my guitar goes into there. It comes out of there and goes into the RC500 looper that I use. Mainly, I use this for rhythms when sometimes when I need. My songs are kind of dual purpose. I could do them either straight acoustic, or if there's a lot of people rowdy and want to dance, I got some pretty good drum loops on this thing. It works pretty nice. I've got it set up as a basic looper, nothing fancy, and I'll get into that as I go down the road a bit, and show you how I work in my looping tunes. But yeah, that's my signal. That goes straight into my JBL Eon 1 compact. Great speaker. Like it because it's battery operated. It'll run for 12 hours. It's never let me down. I've had them a couple of years, so I have a pair of those. They're about 150 watts each. I've easily handled crowds of 100 to 150 without any problem. So they work out well. And the main thing is they're battery operated. I can use them anywhere. And they're light. They're small and they're light. I don't want to be carrying around 12-inch, 15-inch speakers to blow people away. People want to be able to hear themselves, and more than not, I find myself more in a background music situation, in which case I don't need a pair of 15-inch QSCs blowing out the sound. So anyway, but that's my choice of speaker, and that's why I use it. They sound JBL. Hey, sounds great. As far as my vocal section, I use a Shure 87 Beta A. This is a condenser mic, and it is a studio, more of a stage live vocal condenser mic. So it's a little bit more forgiving as far as a condenser. I love this mic because I don't have to hardly EQ it. I take a little bit of mid out on my mixer, and I take a little bit of low end out because I have a deeper voice. And the thing, I don't have to mess with it. It goes in from there. It goes into well, I'll get to that in a second, but it's a clean signal, and it sounds fantastic. I would strongly recommend getting a decent vocal mic. This mic's not cheap, but I'm going to tell you, it's just a world of difference. And so that now microphone goes, as you'll see, into this albatross that I have, and I call it that because it was probably one of the worst investments I ever made. Aside from Boss, and again, Boss quality, I think, is going straight down chutes. It's not as good as it used to be. Within a year of having this thing, the USB quit working, which forced me to make all my adjustments manually inside this little 1-inch screen or whatever it is they give you. And it was just, it turned out to be a nightmare. Boss would do nothing about it. They wouldn't warranty it or anything. And so the reason I have this, and solely the only reason I have this, is so I can turn my vocal effects on and off, which are simply reverb and delay. I do not use the harmony section on here. Is terrible. I mean, I thought they would have, reached a point in technology where they could have a decent harmonizer for vocals, but this is a joke like all the other ones. And, it'll track okay if you use straight, I mean straight cowboy chords right out of the beginner's book, C, F, G, and I use a lot of different voicings. So this thing does nothing for me as far as harmonizing or anything like that. Pitch correction, I don't use that at all. That's another terrible thing. And this, when you plug into this, I mean, it's a journey on turning knobs. I mean, you're putting your microphone now into the input of this, where it goes into an enhancement section with an EQ, of course. And then you have an input EQ, of course. And then you have an output EQ, of course. And then there's another EQ. Get a good vocal mic, use a good preamp, and you'll be good to go. Don't mess with this stuff. This is hokey, and it's not a good thing. And again, the only reason I use this is for strictly for reverb and delay on my vocals, if I so desire delay. So anyway, that after the mic into the Boss BE500, that goes right into my Yamaha 10-channel mixer. Outstanding mixer on its own. I love the vocal preamps, even though in this case I'm not using it as a preamp for my vocal, because the Boss V500 instructions are so vague, settings they don't even refer to in there. But I finally figured out that I just keep it straight out, 100 in, 100 level out. I use no enhancement whatsoever. I use no EQs whatsoever. I go through the effects on the unit, and that goes straight into the Yamaha mixer. And from there, the mixer sends it to my trusty JBL Connects. So that's it. It's a straight vocal signal. Now, again, I had to set this BE500 up to as an instrument reference as opposed to gain in their settings, because I'm running there's already a preamp in this vocal BE500. So that is I don't want to run into another preamp on my mixer, so I'm running it line in, and my mixer just set to 0. So that's in regard to that VE500. And all of this is pretty much powered when I need to by this little power bank here I found online for $100. I think it's 150 watt. Powers my mix. It'll run my stuff for about 10 to 12 hours pretty easily. And that's about it. That's my rig. It all packs up quite nicely, and you can see how I have it set up. As far as my words, I have a cheap Amazon Fire tablet, and I use set lists songs. It's an app on Play Store. I use I think it's something to do set lists and songbook. But nice little app, works well for me. And that's about it. I do use on when I'm doing these cover song videos, I am going into a Beyer mic, which I have as a backup, and this is a regular dynamic. It's their touring series. Pretty decent microphone. That's what I'm using to do this, and that goes into a small mixer, and then the camera picks up, which I'm using my Samsung Galaxy phone to record this video stuff on. So anyway, that's my rig, and I'll get back to you soon with some more cover tunes here that are easy to do, and we'll get you playing soon. Thanks a lot. See you in a bit.